One. Hi, this is Group 1, and we're going to be presenting our manufacturing analysis on a washing machine. I'm Diego Cantu.
I'm Wesley Anderson.
I'm Roberto Cabello.
Okay. And I'm Carlos Cantu.
Hello. For part number 1, we have the motor coupling. The motor coupling is used to connect two shafts between the motor of the washing machine and the agitator. This connection is needed to transmit power from the motor to the agitator. The washing machine tub will not spin if the coupling is broken. The materials for this part consist of polyamide and ABS. In manufacturing the motor coupling, injection mode is preferred because of its most efficient for production and cost. Next, we have part number 2. The rubber housing for the motor coupling. This rubber coupling is used to reinforce the connection by the motor coupling. The material used for this part is hardened rubber. The purpose of this rubber is to absorb force caused by the connection of the two shafts. The manufacturing process used to harden the rubber is called vulcanization process. This process is the cheapest way to harden the rubber. Next, we have Diego to talk about part 3 and 4.
So for part number 3, we have the drain pump, and the function of the drain pump is to drain the water from the tub of the washing machine into wherever you want to dump it to. And the drain pump contains a propeller and a motor to, again, push out all that water from the tub to wherever you want it to. Now, the materials that we can use in this part is ABS or polycarbonate. Those are the two options. That's for the frame of it. And we see the properties for ABS and polycarbonate in our term paper, but we chose ABS over polycarbonate because it has a higher chemical resistance and it has a higher resistance to fatigue. Now, the manufacturing process for the part that we chose is the injection molding, just because injection molding is probably the most cost-effective, the most efficient, the most accessible way of mass producing these parts. Again, these parts are all connected by plastic interlockings. Now we have part number 4, which is the machine door lock. Now the machine door lock, its function is exactly what it says. It locks the machine door. So it uses a bimetallic plate that will continue the current. So whenever the door is shut, the washing process continues, and when the door is open, it stops. The materials in the part, again, are ABS or polycarbonate, and it also uses copper for the bimetallic plate. The table 4 references other materials, and we chose, again, ABS over PC just because it's more cost effective and it has more resistance to chemicals, so on and so forth. Now, the process for the parts are, again, injection molding, because as mentioned before, for mass production, and it's really cost effective. We also have powder metallurgy and the rolling of the copper powders. This is to create the bimetallic plate, and the sintering will fuse everything together. Now we have Carlos Cantu presenting on part 5 and 6.
So part 5 is the clutch assembly. Clutch assembly is a very important part because it is responsible for moving the internal tube of the washing machine. It works exactly the same as a clutch on a car works, which is basically changes the velocity of the tub inside the washing machine. It is also responsible for the movement of the agitator. It is made of stainless steel and it is cast into a mold. Due to the figure of the part, a casting process is easier and we do not have to worry about the finish of the piece because it is covered with a coating to protect it from corrosion. And then we have part number 6, which is the water inlet valve. This part lets the water run inside the basket of the washing machine. It runs 2 hoses, one for hot water and another one for cold water, and it is controlled by 2 sensors, which controls the level and the flow of the water. The water in the valve is made from PVC mainly and has another reinforcement of stainless steel. This part is created by injection molding on the PVC because it is way easier to manufacture and cheaper. And then it is assembled with the two sensor and finally put into a case of stainless steel. Then we have Roberto for part 7 and 8.
Again, for higher efficacy and volume and cost, the agitatable is made with primarily a wire that is uncoiled and then cut, added a bolt head, and then threaded in that order. For a secondary process, there is some polishing that should be done just for an easier threading and lower friction during the threading. Its primary purpose is to hold the agitatable down while it is moving around and washing the clothes inside of the tub. It has a rubber washer to keep the metal bolt from breaking or cracking the brittle plastic agitator that's making all the movement and actually washing the clothes. Moving on to the last part, the rubber gasket has its primary purpose as keeping the water inside of the washing machine and keeping it from leaking out. Its primary function as a material is to not create holes or not fracture under the constant point loads or impulse loads of the washing machine closing and opening. As such, the primary materials that it will be made of are rubber or flexible PVC, and in our report, it is detailed how flexible PVC is an optimal material over rubber, as it has a greater chemical resistance, and PVC injection molding is used in previous parts for this assembly, so it will be easier to accommodate the process for this part with the overall process of the washing machine. And yeah, injection PVC molding was just chosen for its efficacy and cost and volume. Once again, the following are references during the project, and please feel free to email us about any questions or concerns about the overall assembly of this washing machine. Thank you.